told the volumes are right there.
Okay, yeah, he did.
Yeah, if you can't
'Cause
hear.
that's only headphone volume, right?
Yes.
Correct. You'll have to trace out yours. I think you're probably
I'm
3
two.
or 2.
You're used to headphones, aren't you?
Okay.
All right.
Oh, this is how it's going to go today.
Yeah, it is. All right.
Oh, you have no idea, amigo.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Grit City Podcast. I am Justin.
Me amo Brogan.
Ooh.
I'm Scott.
And we got Jeff running the live stream in the back. Say hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to get a hold of us, you can do info@gritcitypodcast.com. You can also find us just at gritcitypodcast.com, where you can find all of our social media, the stuff like our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter. We have
Our
Twitter.
MySpace page.
We do not have MySpace.
Oh, we don't have MySpace.
We don't.
Shit, what's
We
wrong
definitely
with
have
us?
Twitter, though.
We should probably get a MySpace. No.
I'm
no.
just going to make one for fun.
You're going to make one for fun?
Yeah, I'm going to use the info at.
Wow.
And I'm going to set the password. I'm just going to let our customers have access to it.
Oh,
Deal.
I mean, our
God.
listeners.
Our
Dude.
customers.
Also
Our
customers.
custies.
Our custies.
You can also help us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Grit City Podcast, for as little as $4 a month. That's only $1 an episode. You can help us out all the way up to our business class, which if you're someone awesome like Jason from Castle Security and Protection, you can get a mention on the podcast, and sometimes quite often, if we're talking about Brogan. We won't talk about Brogan today. Don't worry about it.
Listen,
Don't get
bitch.
mad. Don't get mad, but just know that Jason will protect you and maybe save your life from choking on bacon. Now, moving on from that, we got some guests today. We've got 2 Marks with us from Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars.
Did you say Marky Mark?
I said, no, I wouldn't say Marky Mark. We don't have
And
Mark.
the Scooty Bunch?
We were first.
Now fair.
We're a little older.
Welcome.
much.
Well, one of us is quite a bit older. But
Oh, snap.
Oh,
So-
here we go.
So you guys are a podcast where you talk about scooters, you give bar reviews, and then ghost stories as well. This is kind of interesting. How did this come to be?
So it started out as a
as an
yearly-
alcohol problem.
Yeah, an excuse to get away and go for rides. But it started with these overnight trips where we had to pack everything on our scooters.
And you're talking like actual scooters, like Vespas and stuff like that?
Right.
Okay,
We
okay,
ride Italian,
Okay.
and
Italian.
so
Wow, I like that. He's like, whoa.
He's a bit of a snob.
Let's make,
Little
let's
bit.
make sure we're
Little bit.
clear.
Holy moly. I don't know anything about
And it was-
scooters, but you made me feel bad.
It was
A little
actually,
bit.
I was like, yeah, we don't ride the Chinese stuff. But anyway, so here we go. We had to take our scooters and carry everything on them on one overnight trip, including firewood, by the way.
Oh, geez.
And so tents, firewood, folding stools, that sort of thing.
Did you guys pitch your own tent?
And we were. Are you interviewing me? Or
This is great.
So we did this one time. So we did this one overnight trip where we hauled everything. It was my brother's idea, Bobby Chong, if you listen to our podcast. And,
I thought you said no Chinese thing.
Well, we found out when
That's why.
His name is Robert Charles, but we call him Bobby Chuck because we found out he has about 0.7 Eurasian DNA in him. So he went from Bobby Chuck to Bobby Chong.
See, that's what happens when you do those 23
Hey, dude, I
me's.
did that, and I am 0.2% Senegalese African.
Oh.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
so I've learned about my people.
So,
Yeah, I got
the inception of that came from going on these trips?
One trip.
Okay.
Where we camped and we carried our firewood and we said, well, the next time we're going to go longer and we're staying in hotels.
Oh, that's a good call.
So it turned it turned into these trips where we would hit as many dive bars, classic pubs, or haunted taverns that we could find along the way. And
Was it just as simple as like Google searching and trying to figure it out, or talking to locals, or how does that work out even with that?
so you'll find out that most every bar you go to, they think it's haunted because they all have to close up late at night.
Oh, and it's always
they've been
creepy
drinking,
shit.
right?
Yeah.
And the
And
biggest
they're half drunk.
and the biggest story we get is you should have seen it. The glasses flew off the shelf.
Oh, yeah, right.
So you'll get a lot of broken glasses. You'll get a lot of those stories. But as we filter through it, we actually get some very compelling and spooky things that have happened. So,
We totally did a ghost hunt on the show. We went down to Brandy's attic and we did and it was creepy.
It was creepy as hell.
So one of your
It
guests,
was, man. I'm not a ghost guy at all. It was creepy.
Yeah,
It's
we had
creepy
a
as hell.
ghost guest. He
ghost
does
guest.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he took us and we went and did that with him, and he is a very intense individual,
Yeah.
and he can sell an experience.
He,
You guys know
and I
Andrew?
like,
Yes.
yes, we do.
We went
He
on
was
a
on
tour.
our podcast as
Yes,
well,
yes.
and I like the way he clips his sentences. And then
He-
we
he-
move on
He has
to the
a
next
beat.
place.
He has a beat to talk, and when we
does.
go on his tours, and it's Andrew at Tacoma Ghost Tours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tacoma Goes to
Yeah,
Great guy.
and he's a great guy, but he does that. He's got that cadence that
Right.
you're almost going. He's almost like a beatboxer.
There's
or,
no period at the end of his sentences.
No, it's about in the middle, or there's just
Yes.
like a lot of commas.
He keeps you guessing.
He's
Absolutely.
pointing at you with 4 fingers at the end of every sentence.
With his iPad. So we did an interview. I did an interview with him at Brandy's Attic after closing, just he and I, in the back. And if you'd like, I will send you the link.
Please
But,
do, yeah.
Yeah,
we
we'll
were,
put it in the show
we
notes.
were doing this interview, and we finished it. We used it on there, and I didn't use one part of it. So I pulled that up for another one. I was a little short on material and content, and I started listening to it. And right in the middle of the interview, I get this person that says, "Hi."
Ah.
So I picked up an EVP interviewing Andrew from Tacoma Ghost Tours at Brandy's Attic, which really scared the heck out of me. as
Yeah.
well. It was something.
I bought some of the fixtures from Brandy's Attic for my business, and every time I look at them, I'm like, "You haunted."
You're talking to
time.
me.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
and that's like one of the things that I love about Tacoma is they've kept a lot of the old architecture with stuff like that. Like right now, we're in a building. We're at the Union Club Tacoma. I'm not bringing up how it might be haunted. It might be haunted.
It is.
Like exactly. It was built in 1888, and there's been things that have been happening. And literally, the light right above us had flickered a couple times. And it was one of those things where we were joking about it earlier, and then literally in the middle of an episode, we're sitting there talking with people. The light goes out, so all of our eyes are going right up to the light, all thinking this shit's haunted. Stop it! And then the poor guests are just like, "Oh yeah, the light is out," and everyone here will know it's like, "Yeah, this place has got to be haunted."
Well, I mentioned to the other Mark sitting to my right when we parked out here that about 20 years ago, this was a steakhouse.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
yeah,
before-
it was in a French restaurant after that.
It was.
That's hilarious. That's twice today that I've heard it's been a restaurant, and that's the first time I think we've ever talked about it being a restaurant.
Yeah, it was a French restaurant
It-
too for a minute.
That's crazy.
But it was one of those stories. I came in here on a New Year's Eve with my wife. And
Uninvited, right?
Uninvited. And it was like a private club.
I was
It
going to say it's a
really
restaurant.
weird-
Who invites you to a restaurant? Like, oh, you just go? Like, am I missing something?
Wait a minute. No, you are. Wait.
What?
So
You've been doing it wrong, man.
we walk in on New Year's. We could not get food anywhere. We didn't have reservations anywhere. We walked in here, walked inside, and it was like we were expected. It was the oddest feeling. And they had us join us, had us this beautiful seat at the window with a view, sat us down, 4 of us, and
Was Jim Jones serving dinner that night?
so
Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid, yo.
and it was a very uncomfortable. It was like we came into a club that thought we were part of it, and we really weren't. And it was like if we left, the whole place would just go dark.
Yeah.
It was very,
Yeah.
very strange. We still talk about that. Very odd New Year's Eve.
There's, and this is just from me dealing with this, is that I'm pretty sure that the bathrooms are haunted. At least the one downstairs.
That's because it has a motion sensor, dude.
Yeah, but here's the deal: the motion sensor goes off at different times,
and keeps
so-
going off over and over and over again.
And it freaks me out. Actually, one time I was in the bathroom and then I came back out, and the hallway lights downstairs were off, and we were the only 3 people at the time in the building. So I'm like, "Did you guys turn off the lights?" And they're like, "No." And then there was a couple of other things. That was when Jeff first brought his little, I don't know, like EVP sound thing where it just kind of goes off and it starts saying like words that are going on, and yeah, and it was
Spirit box type deal.
yeah, it was creepy. Like
It was. That was the same day. I never, ever, and I don't believe in ghosts. I don't, nothing. And I was sitting up here up by myself by the coffee, and I swear someone walked behind me, and I go, "Hey," and there was nobody there, and I was like, "What the shit?" And I walked downstairs, and I was like, "Hey, did you guys walk?" And there's like, "Nobody's here."
yeah,
I'm
we're
like,
setting
"Son
up,
of a
dude.
bitch."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you-
it creeped me out a lot.
So you're doing that all around then, and going to check out these haunted bars or quote unquote haunted beyond like Brandy's Attic and stuff, and like even being here. What are some of the more like strange, I guess, or paranormal experiences that you've had, or at least the stories that you've heard from some of these people?
You got some nice stories.
So yeah, I would say we're more of ghost story hunters than we are ghost hunters. But we went and met with Raven down at the Forum, who was
Okay.
a bartender down there. It was a Sunday like today, much like today, and we were sitting there, and she said, and Andrew will tell you this, in the basement used to be the Crystal Ballroom. I'm not sure what the
Crystal
name.
Ballroom.
Yeah, and she took us down into the basement, and we got to hang down there for a little bit.
And you got just a little hug from her.
And I got a hug. Yeah, that was nice.
Hug from Crystal. Watch out for the glitter.
Yeah, Raven. But it was a very odd feeling down there. Nothing specific happened, but the stories are that it has a very dark
Traffic
entity.
That
some
whole
mass
block
that
right there has got
yeah.
some real nasty juju.
Especially with the tunnels that went down to
Yep,
the
the Shanghai
waterfront.
tunnels.
And that's one of those interesting things. I mean, when you look at ghost stories and that sort of stuff, most of the time when those things are happening, they're not born from happy tales. A lot of it is tragedy that bears whatever.
Strong emotion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so Tacoma has a lot of that. And it's sad in some respects, obviously, but it's also that intriguing part about the history of what it is and what it has been in Tacoma, and just all of those and dealing with all of that.
Well, it's the most wired city.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're trying to make it wireless now, which is, we're wired for the last 30 years. Now let's go wireless.
Let's just be the city of destiny
we
and
have
leave it at that.
So many weird little creepy things about our city. Like there's a gas station. There's a hole in the back. It's real deep. And people throw their garbage down there, and sometimes the garbage comes back out of the hole.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Ask Steve Dunkelberger about it.
I will have to ask him about that.
It's on our first Steve Dunkelberger podcast.
Or even just like what is
the weirdest shit ever, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh
I had
my
to call
God,
him
that
the other
guy.
day
Why?
and verify the difference between a Boy Scout and a Girl Scout.
Oh, we talked
I know
about
you-
that on the podcast.
No, this is before. This is like a couple of days ago.
Oh.
So.
really
Yeah.
talking about?
Well, one has cookies.
Yeah, right.
Well, so I
one has
have
popcorn, and one
So my kid,
cookies are way
she's a
better
Girl
than
Scout.
popcorn.
Yeah, remember
And we were
BSA?
talking about
We
what,
went on
like,
BSA.
what the difference between a Boy Scout and a Girl Scout is, because you can be a Cub Scout,
Yep.
you can be a Boy Scout, you can
It's
be
just
an Eagle
Scouts now.
Scout, a Scout, whatever. Girl Scouts, they move in the same troop together.
Oh,
through
so
their
each
different
one
ranks.
graduates as
I
a
did
troop?
not know that, and my wife told me I was an idiot. And as it turns out, as she normally is, she was correct. But I had to call in the Dunkelberger as a character witness.
It didn't really help, did you?
No, he shit all over me.
He's gotten a lot of Tacoma history information.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I especially like the hole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
you
a good one.
Yeah.
Where's the gas station? Because I'm a little low in my scooter.
We need to talk to the Dunkelberger. It's a convenience store. Has a hole in the back.
Really?
There's
That's
this
creepy.
crazy deep hole, and sometimes the garbage comes back out of the hole.
That's amazing.
Yeah, which makes me wonder that there's probably just like some severe flooding in this hole.
Well,
or
there's a
somebody
lot of
living in
theories
there?
about inner Earth beings as well.
Oh, dude.
shit.
Yes.
Now you done did it. You
a
said,
chord.
hey, just like Pee Wee's Funhouse, you said the word of the day.
Yeah. You've
So
weirded it
now
out.
you guys continue this on. We're going to play beer roulette when I get back.
All right, cool. So, Brogan, you continue with that. I guys want to talk to you about. So, how did you get into scooters in general? Because I mean, this is at least 1/3 of your podcast. Because listening to some of the podcasts, you do talk to people, luminaries in the local scooter industry, or not industry, but like enthusiasts and such like that. How did you get into scooters in the first place?
So I will say that as we were younger people, me in particular, my brother and
Wait,
I,
real
Many,
quick.
many snows ago.
And besides how, why scooters? That's
well, first let
another
me
thing,
get
right?
there. That's unfair. No, I don't want a
Don't
Harley.
push him. Don't
So-
push him.
I don't want a
But,
Harley either,
growing up,
but-
we had mini bikes. We had tote goats. We had all the small little bikes that you could have.
Okay, yeah,
Because
yeah.
our parents would let us do that and
Oh,
not
yeah.
necessarily have the great big bikes or the dirt bikes and that sort of thing. So you kind of get used to that low-powered freedom and joy.
Low-powered rumble. under your seat.
And so then as you get older and you take on a mortgage and a wife and kids, and your wife says, yeah, you're not going to have a Harley. You're not going to have a
Yeah.
1,000, 1,200 cc bike. What about this little scooter? Well, I think that would be just fine.
Yeah, and then you could still go about
She-
and do your stuff and have
She
your
had
fun.
no
have your
idea
freedom.
that we could go 700 miles in a day on one scooter and hit 40 bars in 4 days. So
40 bars in 4 days. You did that?
Well, that's been our goal, but
Okay.
we hit 39 last year.
39 bars in
Oh.
4 days because we had to leave some meat on the bone.
So when you're going for 4 days worth of trip, you said 700 miles. How far out are you going on that point? Like, are you obviously into another state? Like, how deep?
Oh, we
Mark?
go deep.
Like, where did you end your 39th bar the
Yeah,
last
well,
time?
Portland.
Vancouver, Washington, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah,
The
but we
39th
started
bar.
Vancouver, hit the coast, not Cannon Beach.
Seaside.
Oh,
Seaside.
Seaside, okay,
Came back,
yeah.
and then Portland is so dense, we were able to make up some ground in Portland. But
And a shout out to our friends at the Sandy Hut.
oh, Kate, Ashley, and Jordy.
Yes, there you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you get to Portland and you want to find the classic mid-century, still in the same shape bar, the Sandy Hut is unbelievable.
Really?
I mean, and great.
It's a 2-drink stop minimum.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
good.
So you guys were talking about before you got here that you ended up hitting a couple bars beforehand, hanging out, and what was you actually mentioned the fact that you didn't know some of the ghost stories that were happening around Tacoma.
We found 2 new ones
Yeah, well,
today.
yeah, which ones are those?
So we found out Hank's Tavern up there off 6th Division up there is
Oh, yeah.
has a ghost.
Yeah, it's called Nick Kirkham. He lives in the attic.
Like an actual person, or is he
Yeah,
just,
no, Nick Kirkham lives above the above
Tell
Hank.
people where Nick
So,
lives.
so
dude.
we're
Oh,
told
Nick
that-
tells everybody where he lives.
Jeez.
At least you gave the last name, so we're clear.
He'll be okay with it.
Yeah, we're told the name of the ghost is Ray, and they
Former
have-
owner.
He's active, and then we found out that your friend that's been
Dunkelberger?
Dunkelberger.
Yeah.
He does things out of the broken spoke.
Yeah, the
Here we
broken.
go. I'll let you explain that one.
Yeah, but I know Brogan has laughed about it before. Anytime we bring it up, if you just go and listen to the last
Now, are
episode
you really
with Steve
keto, or can you
Dunkelberger.
have the kitten mitten?
Oh, so we are doing
He's
legit beer
been pod
roulette.
before.
Yeah, I'm just reaching into the bag blindly. I can re-pull for you, but I don't think there's a keto option.
That's going to be the one I'm going to love right
Kitten
there.
mitten.
The kitten mitten.
Okay, so
He's
yeah.
like,
You're a little smitten with the kitten mitten.
Ooh, you win the prize.
Oh, you get the
Oh,
strawberry
there it
Rita.
is.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
strawberry Rita.
So we got Mark with the strawberry Rita. We got Mark with the kitten mitten. Brogan, you gave me the
You can't
blackberry.
go back in.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
you got to
stuck.
pick that, man. That's how it works. Roulette works like that.
Yeah.
I ended up getting the Maid Marian Blackberry Hard Cider because apparently I'm wearing a dress today.
I think he cheated on yours, both of yours today. Because
I think he did too. He gave me the lime Rita too. Like
Yep.
he's like, here's this little wuss with his beers because I never drink anything. And now I've got boldly crafted in Oregon. Friends from 2 nearby towns banded together on a mission to bring cider back to the people. True craft cider made using whole fruit and no shortcuts. Blackberry cider. All right, fine, whatever. What do you got,
There
Brogan?
you go.
The Optimist
That's you right there.
from Fort George in Port Townsend.
Jesus.
Have you guys got out the peninsula yet on your little scoots?
We have.
Big
We've been to Port
scoots.
Townsend.
I'm proud of
Been
you.
where?
Port Townsend.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
I love Port Townsend.
What? What are some of the anything
That was
memorable
Islands
from there?
13,
I
among other
fell
trips.
in Port Townsend.
Ooh, you did.
You fell in Port
officer and a
Townsend.
He was
gentleman.
tired.
Daddy's tired.
We did a
Daddy
nosedive.
has to take a nap.
So yeah, you just end up partying a little too hard there and bailing.
He's
Yeah.
like what animal is that? That when they kind of
Oh, it's a
panicked,
story
create a
that's
distraction, they just kind of keel
The
over.
goats? Yeah, the
goat. He
fainting
was
goat.
yeah, he was a fainting goat
We
that
got
day.
a fainting Mark over here.
No, I'm stupid. Fort George is in Astoria.
It is. And
It's
we-
Fort
we-
Warden that is
We've been
in
there
Port
too.
Townsend.
We've been to both, actually. And Astoria is a classic town as well with some great bars and breweries.
Yeah.
You
As
guys
we've
put a
seen.
lot of miles on some scooters. So
So we have to research.
yeah,
We pick a weekend and research it, and then
that can't be easy.
then
I'd
you
go
on the
with
ride.
you, but I only have my 25-mile-an-hour electric bicycle.
I've rode a few miles on motorcycles. It's not easy to go 100 miles or a couple hundred miles on it.
It is if you stop every 20 minutes
Yeah,
at
I
a
was
bar.
gonna, how do you guys do that? Like you guys, because that's a lot of.
we
miles,
are
man.
exhausted if we go 40 minutes between stops.
Yeah.
And of course, we never encourage to drink and scoot.
Yeah, that makes
No.
sense.
But we do encourage experiencing life. So we try to keep our drinks to 1 per hour.
Yeah. That's
And
the-
a scooter's like a minivan.
Right, it's
You're
invisible.
Oh God, yeah.
if your
yeah.
friends catch you doing it, they assume you're with your mom.
Right.
or worse.
So yeah, so hitting the road, I have to imagine that. I mean, it's hard for even people just in normal motorcycles to deal with drivers in the Pacific Northwest. I don't, you know, it's like this isn't a NASCAR race. We're not talking about the wrecks or anything like that. But I mean, come on, like, have you had to deal with like just like the BS drivers, or how do you even deal
On the
with
way
that?
here.
You had one today?
Really, what
On the way
happened?
I
here.
was gonna say no, never.
On the way, and somebody just pulled right out in front of us. I mean, literally, I'm looking at his the back of his station wagon as he pulled out. And I
Jesus.
went beep beep, and so he moved over. He
Stayed
to
in
the
the
left
other oncoming lane.
to the oncoming
Oh,
lane
shit.
and drove all the way down to
The next block.
the next block, and then ran a red light trying to get away from us.
Oh, because he
So-
thought he dinged you. And
Yeah,
he was running.
I mean-
Well, it was near or General Hospital.
Oh
Or
yeah,
no,
TG.
Tacoma General. that's
Tacoma
what it is.
General.
That's a
Yeah.
That's a soap opera.
TV.
And Good Samaritan's a
welcome
good
to
hospital.
Sunday.
He was just getting over for you, man. He was just moving to the left a
No,
little.
he thought.
There's
No,
big
he
deal.
thought.
No big
He
deal.
thought he clipped you when he was running. That's one of those things in Tacoma, man. There are so many hit and runs. I follow a couple of the Facebook
There's a lot of
pages.
hit and runs everywhere. It's not just.
Yeah, I think
Tacoma.
there's. I think.
Don't
bu-
put that on Tacoma.
I think
stupid.
per capita, there's a lot of people doing that stupid.
Yeah?
There's people can't drive in Tacoma. I've seen
people can't fucking drive in Washington.
I get that, but there are so many times where I've seen a car like in a building or like against a building right off of like 72nd and Pacific, like right over there. There was a car. I have a picture of it where it was like it was just up on the curb into the building, like, and then like even down by on 38th and on Pacific, there was like just some people standing there. I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's a weird place where that car is parked, and then it's parked in the
As a
beauty
man-
park into another car.
As a man that has Supermaned a car into oncoming traffic on the freeway, you probably don't have any room to talk.
Hey, we don't talk about that
About
shit.
this.
Who drives a station wagon? I heard the story on one of your podcasts about the station wagon heading south from Seattle. LTD wagon.
Oh yeah, the old LTD wagon. That was because of the ice. That was we were up in Seattle and there was no snow or anything up there. We started heading back down, and from Kent down, I-5 was completely iced
That's a
over.
rear-wheel drive car too.
There you go.
Yeah, that didn't work out. That didn't work out at all. Yeah. I guess everyone in Washington sucks at driving.
Yeah, so probably just ease off their super shoots.
Oh, simmer down there over there.
Yeah, that's a shitty day, but you know what? It isn't.
You didn't
Getting an axe in the neck.
That's right. You didn't get an accident.
I'm not going to let that go today.
Nope. So you guys are, the podcast is Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Absolutely.
And you guys got a pretty good deep episode list. You got about what 20 or so episodes.
3 seasons.
We have 3 seasons and 23 episodes actually currently.
Congratulations.
But, it takes us about 40 hours per episode because
There's a lot of research.
We have to ride with a group of guys. We got to go to the bars. We
You come to Renton, you can come to my bar and the bar next door to me.
nice. To where?
Renton.
I love Renton.
Yeah. Right up the street. from-
Washington?
Yeah, like right up the way.
The Renton Loop.
I don't know what that is.
That used to be a place where everybody cruised around circles with hot rods.
No, I'm up the hill from IKEA.
You're in the Highlands.
Yeah.
I'm in
Nice.
Fairwood.
Up in the
Oh,
fancy
nice.
area. Yeah,
I
at
live on a
Wizards
golf
Keep
course.
Games. Yeah.
But-
Oh yeah, Wizards Keep Games, 17148 116th Avenue Southeast. For all of your gaming needs, swoop on by, have a beer, visit. I don't
They
know,
sell
maybe
beer
you'll see
and
a
you can play
ghost.
board games.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of shit in the store. It's okay. I know the owner. He greenlights this.
It's probably not haunted though.
I'm in there.
Yeah,
Kinda
you
the same
are. You
thing.
haunted a little bit like that.
Buddy haunts it for sure.
Aww.
He'd do me that solid.
Yeah, you would. You guys are also on Facebook at Chasing Ghosts Pod, and then Instagram Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars, and then also on the Twitter Chasing Ghost Pod. And this is an interesting thing. You can even people can just yell at their Alexa and just say, "Hey, listen to our podcast." And it'll
Enable
go up.
Chasing Ghost podcast, and you can.
That's
listen to
cool.
it right there.
Yeah, that's
we got
something we
our
need-
own skill.
We need to figure that out.
All right, so
I think you just say Alexa,
before you guys
play
became
Ghost City
scooter
Podcast,
superheroes,
she'll do it. If Brogan was to talk,
how did
that
this
would've
happen?
worked.
I
Fucker.
I was starting to tell that story. I'm not sure.
and
we
now
got
I'm
all
going
the
to
way
keep
through it.
everybody shutting up.
Go ahead.
Which part? You had 2 different questions. To answer the one about how long it takes us to make one, it's about 40 hours because we ride, we get stories, we record, we come back in the studio, and then we put pieces together.
Then
and-
he does everything.
Congratulations.
And how do we get into the scooters?
Now, how did you get into the ghost part? I know how you get into scooters.
So I've been haunted. I've had actual experiences with full body apparitions, and I kind of put that away as I went through my whole life and later in life. No,
Sounds
Here
like you
we
got
go
a skep-
again.
Sounds like you got a skeptic over here.
No, he's the skeptic. I'm
love
the
it.
believer. And
like Scott over there.
we have the lizard, Lonnie, who is a friend of ours.
Us lizard
You
people are
shouldn't
real,
call-
bro.
You shouldn't. Oh no.
Sorry.
So the lizard got haunted during one of our podcasts by one of the attachments that we picked up on one of our deals. So he is now moving over to the dark side, which
See,
is kinda
Mark, you just
cool.
need to go to more and get haunted, and then you will believe.
Well, I'm waiting. It just
So, skeptic Mark, have you never seen anything that
No.
made you think anything?
I'm blinded by the light.
Yeah.
I would say that his comment is, this is a bunch of bullshit.
See, that's how I feel about most things too. The only time, like the one thing I've ever had is the thing I talked about here. But I've never really ever had any kind of anything pop
No,
up. in
I'm
front of
into
me.
scooters and bars, so that's why I'm in.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't
How
bad.
about you,
Yeah.
Justin?
Have I?
Yeah,
have
tell
I
us
had?
your ghost story, bitch.
Okay, so I was in.
Oh wait, I'm gonna open my beer.
Perfect. I was in Wisconsin. I was staying at a place. I was it was an internet friend that was saying, "Hey, you can crash on my couch."
You stole my fucking backpack.
That was in Arizona. That was different. You guys can go back and listen to our episode with Super Soup about that, or Street Ball Soup about that one.
Do you still talk to what's his name?
Who's a what's
Her
it
name?
now? No. No, not at all. No, that
Oh.
was that one there.
Whoops.
So anyway, so I was sitting there, and it was in Wisconsin in the summer, so it was hot and nasty, and I was sleeping on a pleather couch, which fucking sucks. And I remember laying there and waking up one day having that sleep paralysis, and it felt like somebody's face was right next to my face, just
Old hag.
staring.
Succubus, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know-
believe in that shit either.
But I was
threw
just
that
like,
out there.
I told the girl about it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that was so and so who lives here," and I was like, "Yeah." That actually didn't make me move. It was the 2 fucking tornadoes that were like almost touched down by our place that finally made me move. But the ghost was a legitimate thing. Like it was like I feel this presence right there, and it was really fucked up because I couldn't move at all. It was a total sleep paralysis and totally freaked me out.
Called a
that's-
drunken stupor. In my
I
book.
was not drunk. Probably. It was a long time ago.
I can tell my ghost story now that Justin doesn't live in the house anymore.
Yeah, you do it.
fucker. Are you
I'm
serious?
serious.
You shit.
So he used to rent my old house. He was my tenant. Right before we moved out, I was in the bathroom.
Did you kill someone?
No, the door of the bathroom was closed. I was just cleaning the bathroom. You know, you got to knock some of the funk off the bath every now.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm in there and I'm cleaning over, and something directly behind my head. This is fucking cheesy. He said, "Boo!"
It did not. You were fucking lying.
And it scared me so bad I fell in the bathtub.
You
Just fell right over in the bathtub.
Well, you know
So,
what? Maybe there is something paranormal. I did pass out in that bathroom, and it probably wasn't all
Oh, I
of the
remember that. That was
alcohol.
also really loud.
Yeah.
But no shit. And then I was home alone. My dog can't make the word boo. And,
There's
but
no
it was
reason
really
that-
was boo, and I'm like, no shit. And I fell in
Ghosts
the
have
bathtub.
a sense of humor. I mean,
Yeah. But that was where you lived. Haha.
Fuck. I'm glad I moved out of that one. Like, I don't think our.
No, you had a
place-
ghost across the street. That lady's not real.
She
She's an
was no.
She's an
I
aberration.
we
a
played
bitchin'.
the audio of that crazy woman, Yelly McNasty. Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
you, Jeff?
Jeff, do you have anyone? I
you
mean,
have a ghost
no,
story?
he does. He's got the mortar and pestle at the Octavius house.
Tell us about the Octavius house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just moved into this house and we were cleaning it, deep cleaning it before we got everything done. So in the kitchen, we opened up all the cabinets. There was nothing there. Next couple of days, we come back and we're cleaning again. And my wife goes, "Did you put this in here?" I go, "What?" And she pulled out this big marble, like pestle or mortar,
Mortar and pestle. Yeah.
thing. And so I said,
you were
"We
chopping
don't-"
things up.
Yeah, exactly.
Do that hand gesture again, real quick. for the internet.
So, yeah,
That's a salt shaker, isn't it?
Oh
So-
Jesus.
Luckily, the cameras are pointing.
right.
And so it was there. So this whole thing, and she's been having more experiences than I have.
Uh-oh.
So I took the pedestal.
Yeah, but that's a different guy.
Yeah, no, right? I know, she's good like-
She
and
barely has time for him now.
that's right. So I put salt in it, and I salted the house and stuff like that. But when
Yeah, you put it around all the room.
Yeah,
barriers.
it keeps the demons out.
Whoa, hold on. Talk some superstition for us again, real quick.
Yeah, it just keeps the demons out.
It's all around the house.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
They can't cross the salt
Have
line.
you done it?
Have you not tried to summon a demon when you were a
I'm just
child?
asking. Have you done it?
Is that just a yes?
Have you?
Summoned one?
No. Put the saw around.
I only no.
Okay.
So I'm
all
the
right.
weird
Go
one.
ahead, Jeff.
But I know about it.
So I
right.
still have it, and it doesn't bug me that much, but we still hear things running around upstairs when we're not upstairs
Wow.
and things like that. But it
I
ain't
love
nothing
that.
bad.
Did you go around your whole house with the saw?
Usually just the
I'm
wing-
curious, man. I'm interested. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I want to know.
Just
Did you
the,
go around
the
the outside?
windows and the doors mostly. It's
Okay.
mostly for peace, just
No,
just
I get
keeping
it.
things cool.
Customized,
Like
yeah.
when I come home, when I come, and that's weird too, right? That why can't ghosts go through doors and walls, and people think it's more. At least I do. I think it's more mental that we actually see the walls, so we put up the barriers ourselves, right? So
Deep,
just
man.
Oh, a philosopher.
yeah, just like you when you go to bed at night, you cover up and you don't stick your toes out, right? Because the boogeyman's gonna cut them off, right?
I do because
Like-
I
like
read
that's
a
a-
story
yeah.
one
Hold-
time.
Can you hang on a second?
Yeah.
That one I haven't heard before.
Right?
I haven't
Now
really.
my toes are gonna get cut off,
Yeah.
and now you're gonna freak me the fuck out.
Don't let nothing
That makes
hang
me
off the side of
uncomfortable.
the bed.
I do not like that.
Yeah.
Take it back.
Yeah, right. And it's just all mental, right? It's just all like.
mental till you get an accident.
Yeah, that's right. That's real life. That's Seattle. That's more than mental.
I love it.
Yeah.
God, there goes my feet.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so make sure you cover up your toes.
Dude, I had the
Goddamn,
same.
Jeff,
I have the
creeping me
same
out.
fear of toes. I read a story one time about a guy who was camping and he stuck his toes out and something ate his toes off, and so I've always tucked my toes in since then. Yeah, you're welcome.
Shit. Scott, where's your ghost?
I don't have one. I really have never had any ghosts. The only freaky thing I've ever had is this, where I was up here and someone, I swear, dude, someone walked
Just
by
that,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, because I turned around, I thought it was one of you guys, and I turned around, I was like,
Nope,
hey,
it's
and
not
nobody
us.
was there, and I went all downstairs. I was like, was one of you upstairs? And everybody's like, nah. And I was like, oh, that was weird. And it kind of freaked me out. It freaks me out now talking about it a little bit.
He just looked at the hair on his arms.
I know, right?
It freaks me out talking about it. That's the only time that I've
Yeah,
ever
but
had
that's your
anything like that.
That
Notice
counts.
that it's real.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's real because
Well,
you
it's
can
real
get
for
on.
you.
Your
Well,
mind
for
thinks
you.
it's real.
You guys know what ASMR is, right? Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah,
I don't have that disease
Yeah,
anymore.
that weird, creepy stuff where,
Yeah.
where people whisper like that.
Yeah, and so that just makes people get the same.
I got one more. This is
It's
real
been-
weird. This is Hotel
Free.
Olympus, right next door to.
Oh yeah, we used to live with Baby Mama.
Yeah, where I live with baby mama.
Yeah.
So, I knocked up a bitch, and I can call her a bitch because it was 18 years ago. 8 more child support payments.
Jesus Christ.
8 more.
Can you get to your Hotel Olympus story?
So anyway, in this little hotel, which they turned into little apartments, we shared walls with the her best friend. So what we would do is we'd take we put the kid in the crib, put the baby monitor in there, and we just go next door and watch TV on whatever. And we're sitting there and we're listening to my kid. And she's just making little sounds, and I'm not kidding. We were listening, and all of a sudden, through the baby monitor, we heard 1, 2, 3. My kid was, 5 months old. She ain't saying 1, 2, 3.
No.
I charge in
She
there
hadn't
with a
hit puberty yet.
broom, just right around the corner.
A whole broom?
A whole broom.
Holy shit.
I was gonna get like it was in.
Was it loaded?
It was
Loaded
loaded.
broom.
Fuck, dude.
Pants were at
There are
that
some
point.
there are some frightening things that those baby monitors have picked up.
Yeah.
Both video and audio that are just
Well, now you apparently can get your shit hacked and people will fuck with your kid.
right.
Yeah, you could do that. We were just looking
Yeah,
at
my shit
Showdown.
was not Wi-Fi. It was
Yeah.
just like
Well, yeah, this was
Walkie
18 years
talkie.
ago.
Yeah.
Broom.
It was 18 years.
With the broom.
I was gonna fuck that ghost up. Like there was somebody there with my new kid. I didn't even know what to do.
How long did you live in the Olympus Hotel?
6 months.
So my stepbrother lived up on the roof. There's a walkway and a
Yeah, but
penthouse
what
up
decade?
there.
I never got up that high.
Yeah, he lived up there when he was in college. Went to UPS.
Wow.
Yeah,
and he
it's
had stories about that place as well.
well, it's a weird spot. I mean, they're doing the best they can do with it. My car got stolen there. My,
I know. I
my
remember
kid
that.
almost
Your-
got eaten.
Wasn't it your Bronco or whatever?
No, my Blizuzu.
Yeah. the Blazer. That was funny because they
Yeah.
found it later.
No, they didn't find it. Carrie found it.
Did she really?
Oh, and she chased it down. Like she was riding the bus and she saw my car after it had gotten stolen.
Wow.
She got out the car. Or got off the
for
bus.
her.
She was on the bus. She got off the bus and she's like, "This is my car," and took it from the homies right over here from where we bought the beer today. Actually, right across the street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she found my car.
And you bought some delicious beer, by the way. Thank you very
I
much.
do a reasonably good job with my beer selection.
Actually, and you haven't told your story, full body apparition. Do you mind telling?
Or another one.
Or
Something like that, too.
any creepy story you got?
Well, the most recent one actually
Recent
happened at
one.
a place called the Red Robin or the Robin Hood Inn in
Red
Union,
Robin.
Washington.
Oh, I love Union.
Where the fuck is Union?
It's by Yakima.
You know, by
Oh, okay.
No, by Alderbrook, out on the Olympic Peninsula.
You're thinking Union, the town, or the by
Oh,
Union
I'm thinking,
Gap.
Oh, I'm
You're
thinking
thinking
Union
Union
Gap.
Gap.
I'm thinking over on the.
Oh.
I almost bought that old oyster shack and turned that into a house on that road on the way out
Right,
that way.
it goes along
Do you
through
see
Union.
Brogan, the oyster farmer?
No, it was a house.
It's on his business card.
All right, go ahead.
Hi, I'm
Sorry.
Brogan. I'm an
Sorry,
oyster farmer.
I totally just railed
I'll
that.
tell you
Go
what.
ahead.
Oysters are delicious.
you can have all of them, man.
They're
Yeah.
all right.
So most recent one.
All right, so I'm out there last summer with my brother Bobby Chong, his wife Teresa T-Bone. We're on scooters and we're going to spend a night at this old resort, 1933. It was the set for the original Robin Hood movie.
Really?
Was that the one that has
Errol
Errol
Flynn.
Flynn
Errol
over
Flynn.
the road?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and if you don't
34,
know about this place, it's
37?
really cool.
What's it called?
When did the movie come out? 34, 37?
33,
Nice.
It has the thing that goes
the year
over the
you were
road.
born.
Yes.
Do you drive under part of the hotel on that little road? Like, does it have that little archway?
There is in that town, but not that. I'm not sure it's that place. It's past
But
that.
it's right in that area.
Yeah, and it's right next to the place that says hot tubs in every room. So,
Oh,
That's what I
nice.
wanted to
Okay,
hear.
yeah.
That's what pulled him
so,
in.
but this is
Right.
a really old place, and we get in there and we're on our scooters, and we worked our way out bar by bar. Remember, we only ride 20 minutes between stops, but we get out there and we get set up in a room and. We go into the bar and we meet some of the people that work there, and they confirmed, yeah, this place is haunted, which was cool. And my brother and his wife are trying to have like a second honeymoon, one of those things. But I'm sharing the room with them.
Oh,
make it
no.
awkward.
I said, "Can I
Just
go,
like the
can
first time.
Can I go with you and just sleep on your couch?" So anyway, we had dinner. We had dinner in the restaurant. They went back to the room, and I stayed. They shut the bar down, but they said you can stay and do a little ghost hunt type of deal.
Yeah.
So we went. I met some people that were in the from California that were there staying, and we all stayed. And they closed the bar down. And we all sat around a table, and we did an EVP session, an electronic voice phenomena session, and sat there. And normally you have to play it back to hear whatever you pick up. But while we were sitting there talking, this voice started coming through my recorder. And he goes, "This is Danny. Hi, this is Danny." And I said, "Does anybody know a Danny?" And one of the people we're sitting with absolutely broke down and said, "Danny is my nephew who was murdered in 1991."
What?
And it was this really, really creepy moment. And I recorded all that. And we did a podcast about it. We tried not to be real funny. So
Yeah.
But didn't you name it Danny?
his name was Dan. Well,
Oh,
not
the
that one.
podcast.
I don't think it was. The second one was Danny's Back.
That's right.
But after we got back home and for the next several months, I was getting all this crazy stuff happening every morning to my phone, my electronics. And I got this really creepy feeling like maybe Danny decided to
Transfer a little
Yeah,
bit
c-
and be
connect
Yeah,
with me.
yeah. Connect is a good term. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He came back. And
Danny
so
wanted out of Union.
he wanted to.
He's like,
did
I've been
not
stuck
like
here for
Union.
Union's good for
fucking
1 or
long.
2
I
days.
got hooked up with Danny's mom. Not hooked up, but
Well.
Danny's the guy.
Phrasing everybody.
I see where this went.
I saw
Hey,
that movie.
we're not in middle school, guys.
Quote, unquote,
so anyway,
transfer.
Oh,
I
I'm
talked
sorry.
to
You
her.
didn't get the memo. This is, in fact, middle school.
I talked to her on the phone. I sent her the recordings, and she said, "I hear even more than what you heard." And then all of a sudden, we're doing another. I'm talking about this on our podcast, and the lizard, Lonnie, one of our buddies, he goes, "Look at this," and his phone starts doing all the crazy things my phone was doing. Only while we were talking about Danny, and only during that.
We had to start
podcast.
looking at our phones. I was like, do anything here?
If it had happening now, he would, it would be like somebody swiping through your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Going to pictures, zooming in, zooming out, zooming in, zooming out. You're probably IT guys, right? So that
Probably
doesn't-
IT guys.
Oh, he's not wrong.
We do all look like IT guys.
Yeah, we do.
Bunch of surly uncles.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you got all the
have a
stuff.
look.
You got all the stuff.
Thanks. Good
So
recovery.
that was really wild, and it's been diminishing, but it happened for several months. So
Well, Danny has turned into Annie, right? Since it's been diminishing.
Hey, don't give him the.
This is hard because I know he's your friend and he's making fun of you, but I don't feel comfortable doing the same thing. Even though I love
No,
your
everybody
story,
does.
just so you know. I love your story, and I wouldn't make fun of it. I just
no, you
Scott's
can
an
make fun of me.
asshole.
Everybody makes
you're-
fun of
no,
me.
You're making me uncomfortable, just so you know. You
Whoa,
are.
me.
A skeptic.
Oh my god, I love it, you guys. So again, continuing, chasingghosts.net is where people can find all the information, all the podcasts
Dude,
and
we
stuff
gotta
like
get.
that.
We haven't got to talk about the boot to boot.
I'm just regurgitating. That's not the right word, but I'm just.
You can listen to all our podcasts on
Thank
our
you.
website.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just reminding everyone a good way for them to do that. So yeah,
Or you
Brogan.
can always just touch your screen on
Yeah.
the podcast player.
Because we have all the links there already. Exactly. Brogan, you were talking about the boot to boot.
We got to do the boot to boot.
So we have
we have a plan.
Yes, we have a plan.
Shut up, Justin. I'll tell the plan.
Okay, you do that.
So there is the Flying Boot on Yakima Avenue.
Yeah.
I
Which
heard they had good wings.
they have fucking fantastic wings, and
Pretty
they
good
also have like
karaoke,
a
too.
decent prime rib dinner on Fridays.
Really? Yeah. All right.
No shit.
Good to know.
But they're at one end of Yakima. The other end of Yakima is the Rhine House,
More or less.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke,
All right, fine. I'll get you that
a
when I get you your
backpack, and
yeah.
a Coke.
So,
So
essentially,
we can do a boot
That's
at the
right.
Rhine House, and then we can scooter to all the different bars along whatever path we choose.
see, we were thinking
We
about
were just gonna
doing
use
it
a little lime
with the
scooters.
lime scooters because those seem completely safe for somebody.
Well,
we don't have
we can do it.
full-size scooters like your guys.
Let's be real, everybody, but this guy can stand to lose some pounds. So we can just get on the scooter.
Skeptic Mark is very
That was
fit.
really sweet because I'm on the keto. My first day was a cheat day, by the way.
Hey,
Congratulations.
believe me, I just got diagnosed with a fatty liver. That's what the doctor said. My doctor's an asshole.
You stay away from the doctor.
So I had a bunch of other like genetic family concerns that I had to just get cleared up before I was 40 because there was a certain medication I could take to fix this, to assist in this problem that is genetic in my family. So I had to go get the final test, right? An ultrasound. They're going to look at my kidneys and they're going to fucking dissect all of this stuff and they're going to look real hard to make sure that I do not have the family disease. I don't have it, as it turns out.
Congratulations.
Oh my God! You have no
I love
idea.
the
no,
It
that's
was like
great.
a weight off. I mean, because it's a fucking death sentence.
Yeah. Well, then,
So-
good.
How's your liver, Mark?
So they go in there and they wand
Also
me,
fatty.
and I get all of the good news. Right, my doctor gives me all the good news, just in like regular Queen's English, capital letters, sentences, periods, space, all capital letters. Fatty liver, space.
Tastes really good.
The
cooked.
rest of the other information I need to know, and he just left that there because I'm homies with my
Highlighted,
doctor.
circled
Yeah.
in
So
Sharpie.
and he's just like, motherfucker, really? So I sent him an email back going, what the fuck does that mean? And he sends me back some email, but I didn't check it. So
fuck
then because I requested that information, did you know, I don't know how many of you guys have healthcare, but if you use it, you can sign into and you can talk with your doctor.
I have the homepage.
Do you know
I
if
got
you,
the- I
do
got
you
the
know if you don't
dashboard.
if you ask them a question and they respond and you don't actually mark it as read or like open it, they're required to like
Send you a
stamp
letter.
you a
Yeah.
letter
Yeah.
with the response to your request.
Really?
Blew my fucking mind. I was like, wow.
And,
And what he said was, "Listen, you fat bitch, stop drinking." Is
worked
basically
out.
what he said.
Yeah, that worked
You
out
don't
for
want to
you.
hear that, though.
Well, I'm working on it. No,
Well, it said
I had to
not
start
on
exercising.
Sundays. Not on
Oh yeah. You can
Yeah.
drink as much as you want on Sundays. Don't worry about it.
so
It is the
anyway,
Lord's
the
Day.
boot to boot, and I mean, we're happy to
Let's
do that.
do it.
Like you
Yeah,
guys are
let's
already
do
in.
it.
Now you're gonna have to do it on Lime Bike because you guys are just dusting us. Then I'm gonna bring my rad
No,
bike
we'll just be
down.
one. We'll be one drink ahead
We'll
of
run
you.
scout.
yeah, you'll just scout for us. It'll be perfect. It'll be like, no, this is seriously awesome. I
One
just,
drink, you look at us. You're gonna be like, you're gonna get done in like.
We'll
This
just
can be a
little
day
faster.
event.
I've watched them go up and down Tacoma Avenue.
Well, and what you guys do is,
crazy,
I don't know
yeah.
what your podcast setup equipment looks like, but obviously it's pretty mobile. We have a mobile setup. We can go and we can just kind of make little cutesy complimentary
We're less
partnership.
mobile than we used to be, bro. I'm all gear down, just one gear.
Yeah, stop promising shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, we could totally make that a thing because we're going to do it in the summer and it'll
No,
be fun.
it'd be fun as hell. And we need to have you come up to our unincorporated Pierce County area,
Studio.
our studio. And
Yeah.
Where
No,
you
we
at
don't
in
do
Pierce
that.
County?
No,
we're on
no,
5 Heights.
no. We
Oh,
don't
so
do
just
that.
below Edgewood.
All right.
No, not really.
side.
We're above Edgewood.
Below southeast Tacoma.
We're, you know where northeast
Or
Tacoma
northeast
is?
Tacoma.
Yeah, Browns Point.
So if you keep going south on that same hill, there you just turn into
Overlooks
5
the
Heights.
port.
Nice.
Yeah, we look
okay.
down at the
yeah.
okay,
park
well, I
in
know where the
city.
Cliff House is.
Remember when we
Yeah,
were
we're in
talking
that
about
neighborhood.
that
Oh,
that part?
I love
they
that
didn't
area.
count
Yeah.
that part of as North Tacoma. They said
I count that
was
as
like
North Tacoma, but
North-
Well, in
Northeast,
the
yeah.
last podcast we talked about this, you said you didn't. But
Yeah.
I don't want to hold you to that.
No, I-
because it's okay to change your mind, bro. It's all right. But
Oh, we're
that's-
taking a shot.
No, I'm just saying that that's the part that Steve Dunkelberger talked about. And-
yeah, but I don't like Steve Dunkelberger.
Oh,
I love Stevie D.
Now it comes
I
out.
love Steve Dunkelberger.
Oh shit! That's what I was gonna say earlier. Before we get done with Stevie
Before
D.
we already are drunk
have you
as
guys
fuck.
have you guys got to see the Pythian Temple? Have you guys been?
Yeah,
in
the
there?
Knights of the Pythian Temple.
No,
We could do Monday Night Dogs.
Oh, you need to go there for the Monday Night Hot Dogs and check it out because A, it's haunted, but B, it's really awesome too.
It's guaranteed to be haunted.
It has to be haunted. But basically,
You
they-
know how many virgin sacrifices there have been in there?
well, that makes
One, and it's still Steve Dunkelberger.
Okay, because I'm like, you just made it weird. now.
was he by himself?
They literally have a temple inside of a Tacoma building, so it looks just nondescript on the outside, except for the fact that they've got a neon sign that says Pythian Temple on the outside of it. But you go in, and it's got a like Game of Thrones type.
It's
room.
some American Gods
Really?
shit.
Yeah, it really is. Good call on that. That's one you should absolutely 100%
Well,
check
you guys
out.
are all things Tacoma. Thank God we got to know this.
I love it. And so, how often do you guys release your episodes? I mean, you do have to do the research and all the development. You've got over 20 episodes now. So, but-
23.
I
That's
know.
what he said. Over 20.
Over
That's
20 is still
23.
20.
Jeez whiz.
Each one's like giving fucking birth.
Dude, we've been doing.
also
Hold on.
9 months, huh?
Hold on.
I
hold
remember
on.
when we thought that.
We've been doing a podcast episode a week for. Fuck. It will at least.
I
what,
saw
Plus
your
a year-
notes.
a
Yeah,
year
it's
and a half?
impressive.
a
That's
year and a
impressive.
half.
A year and a quarter,
And
at
before
least,
that,
yeah.
what'd we do? 2 years plus?
2 years plus of, but that was different.
Yeah, but it was still once a week.
Yeah, it was the only thing that kept us from killing ourselves.
Yeah, but still. Like,
No,
we-
it's impressive.
We've been doing this for almost 5 years. Solid.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, suck that.
And we just had our 2-year
But
anniversary.
fucking really.
Yeah, we're celebrating our 2-year anniversary.
Well, no, and that's-
Congratulations. No, seriously, congratulations.
So if we take 24-ish and divide it into 2 years, it's about one a month.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So
The winter months are slow.
Well, and that's another thing
tougher
I
for
want to
us.
ask you. Like, how often are you guys going out scooting in the winter months?
That's up to our wives. It's just terrible.
I was just thinking about just
You know how often
weather-wise.
I'm
we
gonna
hear
do
that?
Well, you know, we can fake the scoot
I'm
part
gonna-
and do the like the other parts.
I'm going to do more this year because I now have a full skirt.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, we're
Well,
thinking about voting him out.
I was going to say that you would think your knees would get cold.
this. So
Yeah, he's grandfathered in.
Hey, I started this
thing
too, and
that
they
wraps
voted
my
me
whole
out.
scooter up, and all the heat comes inside.
Oh.
You wrap it around your head. It's
So does it look like you're riding around in a muumuu?
heat.
It goes right over his skirt.
So it turned your scooter into a little car. That's cute.
To a little.
But it's made out of
Mini
cloth.
cubby.
So I'm sorry. I'm only picturing now that you've like got a sheet with a hole in it where you put your head in.
That is true.
And then it
No,
wraps
that's the
around.
plan.
Right. I was going.
He's
You're
not
going to
there
a
yet.
different. You're on a different.
Like,
side.
it reminds,
No, you put his head through. So
it, reminds,
you see his face.
it reminds me of like a barbecue cover with
like
the.
in Europe, they're super
Yes, that's
popular.
exactly
in
what
Europe.
it is.
Everybody has
A
it.
I don't know. I've been
puffier,
to
though.
Europe a lot. I've never seen that. But
So, but I'm like
I only go to warm places.
You're a
in
puffy
Europe.
barbecue cover. That's what you are.
Oh, Skeptic Mark, you're my favorite person in the
so
world.
fun to spend this time on our last podcast together.
And on this note, sorry you guys have broken up. But no, seriously,
It was
people,
bound to
Hey,
happen.
we released an episode of a show really early on that when we recorded the band, they were still together. By the time we released the episode, they'd broken up. So don't feel bad if you guys. Have
So
to
it's not
break
your
up.
first one.
No, it's not our first breakup we facilitated.
I love it. So seriously, chasing ghosts on scooters in bars. If you like ghosts, if you like scooters, if you like bars, you got it all covered. I love
Putting
it,
this on
man.
my car.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for
we
giving
are
us
the
some
number
stickers
one
on it too.
podcast in the world, right?
We are the #1 scooter podcast in the world.
Cool.
Is there a
Congratulations.
That features ghosts and bars.
there you go.
And people can find the podcast at chasingghosts.net. Mark, seriously, guys, thank you so much for being a part of this. And seriously, like, I'm more than happy to go on scooting. Well, we're gonna Lime scooter with this.
We're
I think
gonna totally do
Yeah,
it.
It's
we're
still a
gonna do
scooter.
it.
That
We,
counts.
we have extra scooters if you want to do that.
Oh shit!
Can you ride bitch on a scooter? Is there a way?
yeah,
to-
only with him, and if you're facing.
Facing
Well, yeah,
forward.
only because he's a human scooter teabag. I love it. Oh, and I want to just tell, just because I just got confirmation, she has no idea. I told him I'm gonna just book a weekend in May at the spot in Union.
Oh,
because-
nice.
Yeah.
Very
That sounds like
nice.
an anniversary thing I'm gonna be doing now.
Yeah, but now I'm not an anniversary. I'm just like, I love my wife.
Aww.
Step your fucking game up.
Oh, you simmer down over there.
Take it down about 20% there, big shoots.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to us. Again, info at Grit City Podcast. If you want to give us some feedback, also on all social media, you can find all of those links right here on the, just click on the podcast, however, which way you're listening to us. Go check out chasingghosts.net. Again, also, their podcast is everywhere, the same place ours is as well. And at some point, we're going to have to be on your podcast, too, to have some fun
Oh,
with that.
absolutely.
I love this.
I've
Again,
got some feedback.
what's your feedback?
Hi.
Hi. No, we're done with the podcast. You got to say something
no,
else.
we're not done.
We're not?
No,
Why?
because I love you.
Oh. Now it got weird.
Someone doesn't want to go home.
I know,
He's like,
I know.
no, let's stay one more episode. It's awesome. I love it.
Subscribe to our Patreon. Become a Patreon. Help us out. Just $4 a month will keep us going. And
Tell your friends, bitches.
yeah, just
All your
share it
friends.
and like
The
help
vi-
us listen.